Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bankroll. We are talking Tuesday's betting tips here for the Champions League group stages. Stuart from Tipster HQ, sports writer Martin Green, and big man on campus with us today, taking a look at the matches and delivering our best picks, advice, and tips that we can give. Guys, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having us.
Now, it is exciting. I love it when it starts heating up. Shall I say, and we've got some very good matches. One, though, I have to say, Celtic versus PSG. Big man, I know you are a massive Celtic fan. I think everybody knows now. How do you fancy their chances headed into this match?
Well, I'm excited for sure. I mean, I obviously know what they're facing here, and look, they got a tough draw. I mean, it's unfortunate. I wish they got some of the English teams who always seem to luck out with this. They got a good draw. It's a shame, but we got to pick up and move on. Yeah, Natalie, we talked in the last show a little bit about it. Look, I know PSG is amazing. I think we're all well aware of that. Let's be real, though. I mean, some of the lower level teams in Ligue 1 are pretty poor. I mean, let's be real. They're putting up goals. I mean, they scored 14 goals in 3 games, which is great and all, but it's very similar to in college football when you're playing teams that have no business playing at the same level as you. Again, we all know Celtics attacks there with Lee Griffiths, who didn't play Friday. He's going to be fully healthy. Moussa Dembele may play. He's been off for a while. Getting him back maybe as a bench player might be good. We know Celtics going to be able to attack. And PSG, one thing that they've struggled with is their defense hasn't been great. I mean, they're scoring tons of goals, but defensively, I do think they have some trouble. I'm not as sold on their goalkeeper as some people might be. He's not like a world-class player or anything. They've conceded in 10 of 11 Champions League matches. So for Celtic scoring in this game, it's pretty likely. I'm actually going to go with the over 3.5. I think it's an absolute banker. I think he's the best player on the board. I think this is going to be an extremely open match, similar to what we saw last year at Monaco and Dortmund and those kind of teams. I think 3.5 is quite the bargain here, especially in Celtic Park. The fans are going to be absolutely great, one of the best atmospheres in football. I don't see any reason this isn't like a 4-2, 4-3, 4-1 type of game. We should see plenty of goals. I don't think Celtic can win. I'll root for them. I might put a small play on their money line here, but I think goals is the play here. I
think goals are. I have to say, though, PSG definitely, I would say, a stronger team this season. They've conceded in their domestic league 3 goals, 19 scored. Now I know obviously this is not the Champions League, but I would say betting on Celtic to actually score, I would be really nervous. I know Alex in the weekly kickoff, he's going for both teams to score near over 2.5 goals. I'd be pretty nervous. Stuart, would you bet on Celtic to score?
No, I'm not betting on Celtic to score. I mean, I can kind of understand what Big Man is saying in terms of the
goals, yes,
comparison, but at least in Ligue 1 football, they've qualified to be there. It's not like a ticket system or anything like that. They've actually gone through the promotion relegation scheme, and they've actually qualified to be in that position. So yeah, they do deserve to be in Ligue 1. They may not be the best teams, but yeah, I wouldn't be putting money on Celtic to score in this one.
Yeah.
I'm going to
I mean, Stuart, I'd like to hear your opinion on this. I mean, they gave up 2 goals at home to Toulouse. I mean, Celtic would be 3rd or 4th in Ligue 1. Come on.
No.
Yes, that would be.
Yeah, probably. Celtic got a pretty good team. They've spent some money, not as much money as Premier League clubs, obviously, but they brought in some good players. And you look at the way they're playing football now, and the style, it's actually very, very good, certainly for the Scottish leagues. Whether that will translate to the European leagues against the kind of teams they're up against now, and I'm looking forward to the PSG against Celtic game because I'd like to be going to that one. I'm trying to get a ticket, so when the rematch comes round, I may not be available for nights like this, but we'll see how it goes.
We can see you live from the stadiums too.
Yeah, that'll be fine.
Yeah. Do you have a bet?
Can you invite
match?
me? I'll come.
Yeah, I have actually. I was looking yesterday. What did I get? I managed to get something on this one. Neymar to score at any time, 1.7 with William Hill, and I think with the space they're going to have at the back, they're going to be pushing. They've got great pace in the side. When you've got Julian Draxler as a substitute, then there's something good about your team. So Neymar to score any time. I got 1.7 yesterday. I think the odds might have dropped a little bit.
Nice. Yeah, I like both of those bets. And Martin, you also briefly mentioned your bet there, PSG minus 1.5. What do you get? What are the odds for that one? I like that bet a lot.
Yeah, I got 1.7 on that yesterday. I think it's since gone down to 1.66, but that's still a reasonable price, I think. I just think PSG have been attacking with such devastating dynamism, incision at the moment. They absolutely taking teams apart, and they have assembled a world-class strike force. Exactly, they're keeping Julian Draxler on the bench. That is outrageous. They've got he would be the best player in Scotland by a million miles. They've got Kylian Mbappe was the most in-demand striker in the world. They've signed Neymar, doubled the world record to buy him. And they bought him to win the Champions League. They're not concerned about Ligue 1 anymore. Unai Emery said there's no way we can win the Champions League unless we have players like Neymar. So the club put the money where the mouth is. They went out and bought Neymar, and now is the chance. Now is the time for them to really turn it on, and they can make a real statement of intent against Celtic here. So if I was a boys fan, I'd be a tiny bit nervous, and loving Stuart's bet, Neymar to score any time. That is a good idea, I think.
Yeah, I think I like all your bets, actually. Sorry, big man.
No, I said must be nice to just buy any player you want. It must be nice. You know what? I do like the over. I think they can score. I haven't been impressed with PSG defensively. They're good. I think they're going to give up a goal, especially in Celtic Park. I think they're good for one. But I just want to make aware, I'm on the over 3.5. I don't think Celtic can win. I'll root for hell. I'll run around naked in my neighborhood if they win, which won't be good for my neighbors. But you know what? You never know. We'll see.
We can film that live too, then, big man.
And I want to say this. I mean,
we're take the victory dance to a whole new level.
Philadelphia man seen streaking through the street.
I know.
They tied Barcelona. They tied Barcelona, Man City. They can play with the big boys. Don't be worried. They'll score a goal. I'm sure about it.
Well, listen, let's talk about some of our homegrown teams here, or three of our homegrown teams. Chelsea versus Karabag. Again, very low odds there, but what a nice, easy match for Chelsea to ease themselves into. Again, low odds here, 1.1. Is there any value in this match? Are we looking at a strong Chelsea win, or a little closer than the odds suggest? Anybody got any tips for that match?
No. Yeah, I got one.
Do you? Go on, Stu. Is it crazy? How crazy is this one?
I mean, Spurs played
Karabag at 34
in the Europa League a couple of seasons ago, and they did away with them pretty easily. It wasn't that hard a game. I'm going for Chelsea -1 at half time in this one, 1.85 a bet, Victor. So not crazy.
Right. So a strong start, you're predicting?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they've got the players to do it. You look at their team, and they are a mile above Karabag. Or carrier bag, as we used to call them when Spurs were playing them. But, what can you say?
Yeah. What about big man Martin? Any tips for the match?
I think it's a nice story, Karabag. I mean, the Azerbaijani side, they're a bit of an unknown to most football fans, in the United States and places like that. But look, I think they're going to get slapped in the face here. I mean, it's easy to play against some of the minnows they played, kind of in qualification, but going into Stamford Bridge against a Chelsea team who should smack them around. I actually like that play by Stewart. I think Karabag's going to be kind of like Brighton was in the Premier League. They're all hype and excited. Then the game starts, and it's just been all downhill from there. I think Karabag is definitely outmatched here. They might be the most outmatched team in this tournament, to be honest. I like that play by Stewart. Should be a nice winner.
Yeah, I like it too.
I was just looking down the list of games, and I think the two that stood out for me as having the least value were the Chelsea game and the Bayern Munich game, just because the odds were just far too low.
Was tough.
But there's a bit of value in that one, obviously on the outright.
A little bit more for Man United, yeah. Those were the two that I left alone, though, because I think there's a bit more value to be had with some more sensible odds in the other games.
Yeah. You've got on the talking about the Manchester United game here. You've got obviously they're low for the outright win, 1.2 I believe against Basel, draw 8, Basel 19, Group A there. But something like Manchester United halftime full time comes in about 1.7. Also Manchester United in the over 2.5 goals. I'm looking at as well. Do you guys predict goals in this match?
Yeah, I actually go ahead, Mark. Go ahead.
Oh no, you go, because I think it could be quite a good, strong defensive performance from Man United.
Yeah, I definitely don't think Basel will score. I think that's pretty unlikely here. Basel's really struggled in this competition. They've been good in their Swiss league, but overall, they haven't won a game in the Champions League since 2015. And in their last 3 of 5, they've lost by 2 or more goals. I think going into United here, United scoring goals are fun, as we know. They're off of a game they didn't play well in. I think United didn't play in the Champions League last year. I think they're going to have a lot to prove, especially in a group that is pretty easy. I think they thrashed Basel here. I think it's 3-0, 4-0. They've been scoring a ton of goals against Premier League competition. Don't see it changing here against Basel here at home. I like -2 at 2.02.
Sorry, I missed that one. I was just tapping to one of the comments. What did you say, big man? Your tip?
I like United -2 at 2.02.
All right. Yeah, and as well, talking about the defense here, is this a win to nil? Both teams to score, no kind of bet. Martin, you say that Manchester United are going to be on the defense.
Yeah, I think Man United to win to nil looks pretty good at 1.68. They struggled against Stoke at the weekend, but the 3 games before that against lesser opposition, they kept 3 good clean sheets. And yeah, again, I think Basel might be a bit awed by the sense of occasion playing at Old Trafford. They are a solid team, but Man United did very well in the Europa League last season, defended very well and ground out some strong victories. And I can see them doing that again. So yeah, 1.68 on Man United to win to nil, and also 1.66 on Romelu Lukaku to score at any time, I think, because well, he's scored in every game so far this season and he's on fire. So I definitely have a bit of that.
Yeah. What about obviously a team known for their defense? Not so much this year, but it's Juventus, and obviously they're quite heavy dogs against Barcelona at home. Barcelona you can pick up for 1.67. I know, big man, Juventus is another team of yours. What have you got any tips for that match?
Yeah, I think this is another one where we'll see some goals. I mean, we know Juventus, normally a very strong defensive side, have had some trouble, though, to start the year. Obviously, with Bonucci gone. Dybala's been on fire, 7 goals in 4 games. Suarez is back. I think there are question marks at both backs for both these teams. I think I honestly think we see a 2-2 type of game here, at worst 2-1. I'm going to go both teams to score and over 2.5 at 2.05. Plenty of attacking options for both sides here. I can't think we see a normal Juventus 1-0, 0-0 game here. They have some question marks, and with Louis back, with some options back down for Barca, they're pretty impending now.
Yeah. Do you think that would you go for a Barcelona win there at that sort of 1.7 range, or do you think sort of there's no value in that?
I'm almost interested more or less in taking the +1 at +1.75. You know, getting Juventus at +1 is always pretty nice, but I get a feeling this one will cancel out. I think it's going to be 2-1. I wouldn't be surprised to see Barca win, but I'm more or less interested in the goals market here. Don't want to have to really worry about a side. I just think we see some goals, 2-1, 2-2. I think it's pretty nice here.
Yeah, Stuart, are you going for any bets for that match?
Yeah, just looking at this, I don't think Barcelona have done very good business over the window. I mean, they've got Dembele in, who I think will be a fantastic player. I really, really like him as a player. But right now, I don't think he's ready to take the place of someone like Neymar. And I don't know if anybody's seen the highlights of Paulinho in his debut in his second game for Barcelona. In his debut, I think that he gave the ball away once in the 12 minutes he was on the pitch, and that was the highlights of his game.
Was it better than Dembele trying to do kick-ups at his unveiling ceremony? Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. Did you see Paulinho's kick-ups during the unveiling ceremony? They're even worse.
It sounds horrible. It sounds horrible. Yeah.
I'm actually on the draw. Last time these two met in this kind of setup, Barcelona against Juventus, there was a draw. They equaled each other out, and I think we'll see the same again. Juventus, I think later on, we'll see them push on. I think they're an older side now, and they're going to be set up to be pushing on towards the latter end of the season. So for me, a draw would be very, very good for Juventus right now, and it would be a pretty good point as well for Barcelona. So 4.1 offered by Pinnacle, which I have to say is very nice.
Very nice. I do like the way, though, there's obviously value on the Juventus there, plus a goal. What Big Man was saying, get that 1.81 as well. So if you've not a bad bet, certainly got the value. Martin, what are you going for in that match? Have you got any bets?
Yeah, I'm not overly in love with this bet, but I'm looking at Juventus draw double chance 2.35. Those odds are going out as well, which is really interesting. You can get both of those outcomes at such a strong price, simply because of the way Juventus played against Barcelona last season. They kept 2 clean sheets. They just obliterated Barcelona, really. I think Juventus will be demoralised after their heavy defeat in the Champions League final, which is what gives me a bit of cause for concern. But I think they did well in the summer to sort of overhaul their squad a little bit, got rid of a couple of players and brought some new faces in. So it's not quite the same team. And I think they'll go out to the Nou Camp full of confidence in their defensive abilities. So not a massive stake, but I'm going to go for a small stake, Juventus draw double chance.
Okay. Martin, I know you said there's a couple of matches that you're definitely avoiding because there's no value. Is there a match that you love? Which match to you screams value and a bet you love?
Oh, screams value. I like that. Well, Atletico Madrid away at Roma. I like that one. That's 2.7 you can get on an Atletico Madrid win, which is a very, very good price. Roma, obviously the runners-up in Serie A last season, but I don't think they're as good this time around, and I don't fancy them to make the top 2 or 3 in Serie A. They had their limitations brutally exposed in a 3-1 home defeat against Inter Milan recently. And I think Atletico Madrid, one of the strongest sides in Europe, travelling there can do a number on them. So 2.7 on a straight Atletico win, I very, very much like that one.
Yeah, I think that value definitely has certainly on the match odds anyway. Stuart, the value finder. What do you like in that match?
I think if you're talking about pure value, I think the draw in the Barcelona-Juventus game, I think there is more value in that than pretty much any other game. My favourite bet of the lot is probably Bayern Munich to win 2-0, 1.78 bet victory against Anderlecht. I like that one as well. It's much lower odds, and the value isn't at the same level, but it's still a good bet, and I like it a lot.
Yeah, I've been thinking.
I think we lost now.
Yeah, I think that might have gone.
Oh, no.
Fine. Have you got one?
No.
Lost Natalie.
She's back.
I'm here. I was here. I was like, no. Oh, God. I did bad internet today. They're supposed to be upgrading my internet. Well, it's taking a little while. Did you? I missed your answer there. Roma, Atletico Madrid. Are you skipping that match?
Yeah, mainly because I've got no idea what to expect from either side. Atletico Madrid, they're still under that transfer ban. I think we'll see some good stuff from them in January. Diego Costa's likely to come in. And Roma, I want to see more from Roma this season before I start placing any kind of money on them. I think they've got a potentially very good side, but they just lost one of their most important players from last season, and they've got Fazio at the back. And I've seen how bad Fazio can be firsthand. So don't really want to be putting too much on them at this point in the season.
Yeah. Big Man, what matches are you sort of all over? Have we discussed the ones, or is like, sort of a best bet thing for Tuesday?
Yeah, I think that a banker's over 3.5, PSG, Celtic. I mean, even if Celtic doesn't score, I could see PSG netting plenty in this game. One that I didn't mention, I like Stuart's point of view on Bayern Munich. I think they crush Anderlecht at home. For anyone that's not aware, Anderlecht's been terrible in the Belgian league to start out here. 6 matches in, they only have 2 wins. They're sitting 10th in that league, have had a lot of trouble going on the road. And Bayern Munich was shut out over the weekend against Hoffenheim. We all know their ability to win by a lot of goals. You look at their last 14 home matches in the Champions League, 8 have come by 3 or more goals. And they've crushed their competition normally at home. For me, I don't mind laying the 3 goals at 2.05, but I do like that win to nil as well. I think Anderlecht is really outmatched, and they're not playing well right now. But my banker is PSG over 3.5 with Celtic, over 3.5 at 2 point. What do we got? I think even. I think it's even.
Yeah, and shop around for your odds there for that Bayern Munich win to nil. Varies 1.67 Bet365 up to 1.8 William Hill. SBRodds.com. Check your odds before you bet. Also, and then okay, so you're going, and then Martin, what's your best bet for Tuesday?
If I had to go for a banker, I'd go for a game that we haven't actually mentioned yet, which is Benfica at home to CSKA Moscow. Benfica are the top seed in that group. CSKA Moscow are the bottom seed in that group. Benfica are very, very strong at home, and CSKA Moscow aren't very good at all on the road. It's the same story with Russian clubs all the time. They're very good at home, but just because of geographical and logistical issues, they don't seem to travel well. And I think Benfica will wrap up a pretty comfortable victory there. 1.7, that's my banker.
That's
okay, there we go. And anybody want to add anything before we wrap up? There's another show in 6 minutes. Has anybody got anything to add?
Well, I mean, I was looking at the straight win, the Benfica game as well. Mainly, I think this is a game that can be overanalyzed quite easily. You look at things, it's like Benfica, they're very good at creating individual chances. CSKA Moscow, they're very bad at defending against individual bits of brilliance. But the thing I'd like to say is people saying that because Dembele isn't playing for Celtic, that they've got no chance. I don't know who said that, but I don't think they're watching Eduard play against Hibernian. He was.
Yeah, I mean, Dembele hasn't played in months. I mean, I don't know.
Really.
Yeah, Dembele hasn't played in months. I agree 100% with Stuart. And he had a goal on Friday, too. So, yeah, just because Dembele's out doesn't mean much. He hasn't been in for a while.
Okay, guys, I'm going to wrap the show up. We've got Pete is on next, if anybody's interested. Early week series and picks update for MLB for those that are interested. But there we go. That's our Tuesday breakdown for Champions League coverage. We'll be back tomorrow as well. Stay tuned for that. Any questions, put them in the comments section. We'll try our very best to answer them. Best of luck. Stuart from Tipster HQ, Martin and Big Man on Campus. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching.